Utah State University is a public doctorate-granting university in Logan, Utah, United States. A coeducational, space grant, land grant, research university is accredited by the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. With nearly 18,000 students living on a near-campus, USU is the largest public residential campus in Utah. As of fall 2015, there were 28,622 total students enrolled, including 25,259 undergraduate students and 3,363 graduate students, of whom 735 were doctoral students. The university has the highest percentage of out-of-state students of any public university in Utah, totaling 23% of the student body. Founded in 1888 as Utah's Agricultural College, USU focused on agriculture, domestic arts, and mechanic arts. The university now offers programs in liberal arts, engineering, business, economics, natural resource sciences, as well as nationally ranked elementary and AMP secondary education programs. It offers master's and doctoral programs in humanities, social sciences, and STEM areas. It received its current name in 1957. The Carnegie Foundation has given Utah State University the designation of a research university with higher research activity, placing it among the top 209 higher education institutions in the country conducting research. Utah State University has produced 7 Rhodes Scholars, 1 Nobel Prize winner, 1 MacArthur Fellows Program inductee, 4 recipients of the Harry S. Truman Scholarship, and 34 recipients of the Barry M. Goldwater Scholarship. A professor from the university has been named Utah's sole Carnegie Professor of the Year 14 of the last 20 years. USU has 9 colleges and offers a total of 176 bachelor's degrees, 97 master's degrees, and 38 doctoral degrees. USU's main campus is located in Logan, with regional campuses in Brigham City, Toole, and the Interbasin, and 28 other locations throughout Utah. In 2010, the College of Eastern Utah, located in Price, Utah, joined the USU system, becoming Utah State University College of Eastern Utah. Throughout Utah, USU operates more than 20 distance education centers. Regional campuses, USU Eastern and Distance Education Centers, provide degrees to more than 40% of the students enrolled. In total, USU has more than 220,000 alumni in all 50 states and more than 100 countries. USU's athletic teams compete in Division I of the NCAA and are collectively known as the Utah State Aggies. They are a member of the Mountain West Conference. History, background, and founding. On December 16, 1861, Justin Morrill introduced a bill into the U.S. House of Representatives to establish at least one college in each state upon a sure and perpetual foundation, accessible to all, but especially to the sons of toil. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Land Grant Colleges Act into effect in July of the following year. Meanwhile, after visiting a few rural agricultural schools in his native Denmark, Anthony H. Lund of the Utah Territorial Legislature decided that there existed in Utah a need for such a school, fusing the highest in scientific and academic research with agriculture, the way of life for the vast majority of locals. Upon returning to the States, Lund heard about the Morrill Act and pitched a vision for the college that would receive widespread support among the territorial legislature, who was at the time seeking to reapply for statehood. Now there came the question of location. According to historian Joel Ricks in 1938, Provo had received the insane asylum, Salt Lake City had the university and capital, and the majority of the legislature felt that the new institutions should be given to Weber and Cache counties. Citizens in Logan, Cache County, banded together and successfully lobbied representatives for the honor. The bill to establish the Agricultural College of Utah was passed on March 8, 1888, and on September 2, 1890, 14-year-old Miss Vendler Bernson enrolled as its first student. Consolidation controversies. In its early years, the college narrowly dodged two major campaigns to consolidate its operations with the University of Utah. Much controversy arose in response to President William J. Kerr's expansion of the college's scope beyond its agricultural roots. Detractors in Salt Lake City feared that such an expansion would come at the expense of the University of Utah, and pushed consolidation as a counter. In 1907, an agreement was struck to instead limit the curricula of the Agricultural College strictly to agriculture, domestic science, and mechanic arts. This meant closing all departments in Logan, including the already impressive music department, which did not fall under that umbrella. Consequently, the University of Utah became solely responsible, for a time, for courses in engineering, law, medicine, fine arts, and pedagogy. Despite the Agricultural College's initial charter in 1888, which mandated that it offer instruction in such things, the bulk of the curricular restrictions were lifted during the next 2 decades, with the exception of law and medicine, which have since remained the sole property of the University of Utah. Widespread growth amid the tumult. The Agricultural College grew modestly, adding its statewide extension program in 1914. A year later, the first master's degrees were awarded. UAC, as the Utah Agricultural College was commonly abbreviated, also received a notable boost in students as a direct result of World War I. Colleges and universities nationwide were temporarily transformed into training grounds for the short-lived Student Army Training Corps, composed of students who received military instruction and could then return to their educations following the military service, as the then tiny campus could not otherwise support such large numbers of new students. College President Elmer Peterson convinced the state in 1918 to appropriate funds for permanent brick buildings, which could be used as barracks for SATC students during the war, and instruction afterward. Though the war was soon to end, the campus essentially doubled in size. The 1920s and 1930s saw the genesis of major growth. A school of education was added in 1928, a prelude to the institution being renamed Utah State Agricultural College in 1929. Doctoral degrees were first granted in 1950. In 1957, the school was granted university status as Utah State University of Agriculture and Applied Science, but the short name Utah State University is used even in official documents. At the beginning of World War II, Utah State was one of 6 colleges selected by the United States Navy to give a primary school in the highly unusual electronics training program, starting March 23, 1942, and each month thereafter. A new group of 100 Navy students arrived for 3 months of 14-hour days in concentrated electrical engineering study. Smart Gymnasium was converted to a dormitory, and Old Main was fitted out for classrooms and laboratories. Larry S. Cole was named program director and Waldo G. Hobson was the director of instruction. ETP admission required passing the EDI test, one of the most selective qualifying exams given during the war years. At a given time, some 300 Navy students were on the campus, greatly augmenting the war year's regular enrollment of 1,000. Stock had earlier developed the radio and aviation department, and entered the Navy as a lieutenant commander to assist in organizing electronics training. He was a member of the committee in Washington that planned the ETP, and shortly returned to Utah State as the officer in charge. The ETP primary school continued at Utah State until August 1944, graduating about 2,750 students in 30 classes. During the late 1970s, controversy again erupted on campus surrounding the school's historically large Iranian population. As U.S. relations with Iran began to deteriorate throughout the decade, Iranian students on campus began staging protests against the Shah, which protests met with some backlash in the community. Following the outbreak of the hostage crisis of 1979, immigration officials arrived on campus to interview each Iranian, an event which alienated many international and domestic students. For a time, the population of Middle Eastern students declined sharply and has only recently begun to rise again. Toward the end of the 20th century, Utah State began taking more strides to shed its reputation as a small regional college and transform itself into a nationally prominent university. Under the auspices of President George Emmett, who served at USU's helm from 1992 to 2000, the university's endowment increased from $7 million to $80 million. Scholarships, contracts, and grants increased substantially as well. 21st century recently, especially under the tenure of current President Stan Albrecht, USU has forged collaborations with several foreign institutions and governments. The university is continuing to grow in terms of enrollment, endowment, and research. The Merrill Cazier Library opened in 2005, and other facilities have followed. In 2010, USU acquired both the Swain Eco Center outside Park City as well as the former College of Eastern Utah, with its 2 campuses and various undergraduate and vocational programs. In 2012, the university successfully concluded a $400 million fundraising campaign, the largest ever at USU, which Albrecht said will go down in history as one of USU's most pivotal moments. As of 2015, the university's endowment has reached $314.6 million. System. As Utah's land-grant university, the Utah State University system operates throughout the state of Utah. The earliest roots of USU's distance education go back to 1904 when USU professors traveled by train from Logan to Burley, Idaho to deliver dairy lectures. In 1919, USU began offering courses that allowed students to stay at home. Then, in the 1950s, professors regularly drove around the state to teach courses and advise students. The first regional campus, Interbasin, was designated by the Utah State Legislature in 1967. The next year, flying professors traveled weekly to teach at USU's various campuses and centers. Traveling to and from the centers was necessary until satellite systems were installed in 1996. In 2005, University President Stan Albrecht established USU regional campuses and distance education. The system grew in 2010 with the addition of USU Eastern to nearly one-half of USU's enrollment. Today, the USU system includes the College of Eastern Utah, 3 regional campuses, 21 distance education centers, and 30 extension sites. In 2012, RCDE completed construction of the regional campus's distance education building, which houses broadcast classrooms, RCDE offices, and the Utah Education Network. Utah State University Eastern, located in Price, Utah. The former College of Eastern Utah joined the USU system in 2010 and became Utah State University College of Eastern Utah. In 2013, the official name was shortened to Utah State University Eastern. USU Eastern operates a satellite campus known as the Blanding Campus in Blanding, Utah. Before the merger, USU taught courses at the college through regional campuses and distance education. USU Eastern is a junior college and offers associate degrees, certificates, and vocational programs. Bachelor's, master's, and doctoral courses, however, are available on-site through RCDE. USU Eastern competes as the Eastern Utah Golden Eagles and is the only campus besides Logan that has an athletics program. Regional campuses and distance education. Regional campuses and distance education work to fulfill USU's land grant mission to increase access to a high-quality education throughout the state of Utah. Growth of RCDE is outpacing that of the Logan campus, with enrollment up 4.5% to 12,650 students enrolled in RCDE courses in 2011. Regional campuses exist in Brigham City, Toole, and the Interbasin. RCDE offers courses at Price and San Juan campuses that constituted the former College of Eastern Utah. Distance education operates 21 education centers throughout the state, including Moab, Caseville, Ephraim, Orem, and Salt Lake City. At each of these locations, students may receive a wide selection of degrees without ever stepping foot on the Logan campus. Courses and degrees are also made available online through distance education. USU has a growing presence in Moab, which had 295 students in 2011. A new 20-acre campus is planned on donated land and fueled by a $15 million gift from the Wendy Walker Tibbetts family. The city of Moab committed up to $75,000 per year over the next 10 years to promote the development of the campus. Degrees specific to the needs of the community, including social work and recreation resource management, are planned for the new campus. Cooperative extension. Started in 1914, Utah State University Cooperative Extension, referred to simply as Extension, provides research-based, unbiased information to communities through the county offices and are an integral part of a land-grant institution. Extension operates 30 offices throughout the state, which includes Swain Eco Center, Thanksgiving Point, and the Utah Botanical Center. With a focus on teaching, research, and public service, extension programs include 4-H, agribusiness, expanded food and nutrition education, gardening and yard care, personal finance, and animal health. Logan Campus. USU's main campus in Logan is considered one of the university's greatest assets. It is situated on about 400 acres, approximately 1 mile northeast of downtown Logan, at the mouth of Logan Canyon. The campus lies on a bench, or shelf-like foothill overlooking the valley to the west. Mount Logan and the Bear River Range rise sharply to the immediate east. The campus contains more than 100 major buildings. Most student activity is centered around the south end of campus, which is home to the vast majority of academic departments, the Quad, the Taggart Student Center, and the Old Main Building. Notable structures include Old Main, the college's first building, as well as the Merrill Cazier Library. The 305,000 square feet ultramodern Main University Library, which houses more than 1,800,000 total volumes. The library also boasts an extensive special collections and archives area, and automated storage and retrieval system, and more than 150 workstations and 33 group study rooms. Also notable is the Manon Kane Russell Catherine K. contain one last performance hall, said to contain some of the best acoustics in the entire western United States. The Logan City Cemetery splits much of the campus in half. To the south lie most academic buildings, and to the west and north are situated the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum and Merlin Olsen Field at Maverick Stadium, respectively. Many scientific and agricultural research buildings are located even farther north. Nearby Logan Canyon is a popular recreation destination for students, with a system of trails and parks running along the river. In addition to camping and hiking, the canyon also serves as the primary route to nearby Beaver Mountain Ski Resort and Bear Lake. The university's outdoor recreation program rents camping, water sports, mountain sports, and winter sports equipment to students, as well as providing them with area trail maps and expertise for the ventures into the canyon and elsewhere. Student life. Utah State is the largest public residential campus in the state, and nearly 18,000 students live on or directly adjacent to campus. The university is the center of activity for the entire area, and the campus community is considered very close-knit. 21 widely varying on-campus buildings house single students, and 39 buildings on the north side of campus are available for married housing. Many more students live in the multitude of off-campus housing options nearby. Students on campus may choose to dine in one of two cafeterias, as well as the Quadside Cafe at Merrill Kazir Library, which offers paninis, soups, beverages, and more. There is also a full-service Skyrim restaurant, and a hub, which includes a number of dining options. On the east edge of campus sits Agwe Ice Cream, a local tourist hotspot dating back to 1888, which produces world-famous ice cream and cheese products, as well as sandwiches and soups. Starting out in Old Main, USU has had a creamery since its founding in 1888. Students studying dairy and domestic arts applied to learn how to make both ice cream and cheeses. In 1921, Gustav Wilster began working with the College of Agriculture, and by 1922, students were studying dairy technology, fluid milk processing, ice cream manufacture, dairy engineering, cheese manufacture, butter making, dairy facility inspection, and dairy product judging. Wilster's students would go on to create Casper's ice cream, Farr's ice cream, and Snellgrove's ice cream. In 1975, the Nutrition and Food Sciences Building was built, which is where Agwe Ice Cream is housed today. Agwe Ice Cream receives its milk from the Cane Dairy Research and Teaching Center located near the Wellsville Mountains. Along with Agwe Ice Cream, well-known traditions include the rite of passage of becoming a true Aggie, which requires a student to kiss someone who is already a true Aggie on top of the block. Two students may also become true Agwees together on homecoming night or on a day. At one point recently, USU held the title in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most couples kissing at the same place at the same time. Nearby the Block A is the lighted A atop the old main tower, which shines wide throughout the entire valley, and blue on nights when a varsity sport has picked up a victory, or other special events have occurred on campus. Students have full access to the HPER Nelson Field House and the ARC exercise facilities, which include basketball courts, indoor rock climbing, gymnastics equipment, 2 swimming pools, racquetball, squash, and outdoor field space for lacrosse, rugby, soccer, ultimate, and other sports. USU students are also involved in more than 100 clubs, an active and influential student government, 7 fraternities and 3 sororities, multiple intramural and club sports, and a student-run radio station. In 1970, Utah State student Sue Brown and Director of Student Activities Valar Crispinson created one of the first service organization in the nation, Voice, volunteer organization for involvement in the community and environment, worked to improve the environment and social issues in Cache Valley. Voice became the Valar Crispinson Service Center in 1999 in honor of Dr. Crispinson's efforts and support of the organization. Today, students are involved in more than 20 service organizations including Aggie Special Olympics, Aggies for Africa, Alternative Breaks, and Senior University.